All right, we are live on Facebook. Well, welcome everybody. We're getting ready to get people on this live tonight. We're excited to be with you. You might be following us and connecting with us here on Facebook. Thank you, family, for spending a little bit of time with us tonight. I got some special people here on the call, and we're also going to be bringing in some volunteers in just a couple of moments here. And so you might see a couple of more people just kind of logging on as we get this started. And so I just want to start the call as people are kind of jumping on and getting on here live and connecting by introducing some of the people that are on this call. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different. If you've been following us, we've been doing devotionals, and in the last couple of weeks, we've kind of switched to a little bit of a Q&A. And so we've been talking about some of the things that we've been doing that are new in the midst of this COVID reality. And so one of those was just talking about what we're doing to support families through this really feeding program ministry that we started at Light and Life. We talked a little bit about children's ministry, and today was absolutely incredible. We started Vacation Bible School, our first online day of Vacation Bible School. And I'll just say this, my feed was filled with young cowboys today. And it was really, and cowgirls, not going to leave the cowgirls out. We're egalitarian here. We value all people for ministry. So just want to make sure that I include the ladies in that. But it was just an absolutely fun day. I was loving all the pictures. Shout out to Pastor Liz. Great job with that. And we're excited. 2 more days of VBS. And so that's going to be absolutely incredible. But this is just some of the media team here at Light and Life. And it's just it's an absolutely incredible thing to think about what God's been doing. If you guys know, our church really didn't have an online presence. You know, we hadn't had a YouTube channel. We weren't really doing any live streaming. And so I met Danny. Danny, it's got to be over a year ago now, maybe even longer. We were up in Yosemite, right? And we went to Hume Lake together, and Danny was just talking to me a little bit about online ministry and what we need to develop in terms of media. And so Danny Alvarado is our sound engineer here at Light and Life and director, and does so much with media and is a video production expert. So when we were doing post-production, you guys were seeing all the talents of Danny on there. And so Danny was just telling me, you know, Sean, there's going to be a point where we're going to have to do some online live ministry. Little did we know that the end of March, would force us into this reality. And so not being able to meet on site meant that we had to go online immediately. So Danny, unmute yourself for just a minute, and let's talk a little bit about what that experience was like, right? I mean, like, we had no subscribers via YouTube channel, no Facebook live experience. And here we were, right, trying to figure out how to now edit services, bring camera people in, do videography, get everything done. You were doing post-production. How many hours a week were you putting into post-producing these videos?
Oh man, it was quite a few. I found myself. I'm a perfectionist, first of all, so I found myself like mixing and taking it to the car and going back and saying, I don't like this, and going back to the computer. And it was, I don't want to say the amount of hours, but yeah, it was more than a work week worth of hours. It was a lot.
It was crazy. And so, like, I just want to tell you guys, you know, some of you have been following us from the very beginning and you've seen it step up. Put in the comments right now if you're watching online, like, the video quality and sound quality has improved. A little heart, a thank you, a celebrate. I mean, we were literally mixing through headphones, right? Regular headphones, trying to figure out what services would sound like on laptops and phones and TVs and all these different things. And so Danny just put in hours and hours and hours of research to really help us figure out, like, how do we get to a point where we can now live stream all of this and get it out in a way that's excellent and is just God honoring, and we're able to worship in our homes together. And so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes of the countless hours. I mean, Danny, I remember, I think the first week we were there at, like, it was like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. We were like putting finishing touches on videos and getting stuff together. And so, I mean, these guys are the countless hours, countless hours that go into making a service a reality. And so I know you guys are watching, and some of you might be thinking like, oh, we could do this or this or this or this, but just know that we have an absolutely incredible team that's behind the scenes, making these things happen and connecting you with church. Even though we can't be at church, God is moving in a powerful way as we continue to develop this online media ministry. And we've opened a can of worms that we're not going to close. We're going to continue to do online ministry, and it's going to get better and better and better. So, for example, we had no experience with YouTube, right, Danny? We're like, we hope we get a couple of views. People are doing that. And then flash forward to now, and we're at almost 450 subscribers on YouTube. We've got almost 30,000 views. God is growing it. We've grown to over 3,100 followers on Facebook, 120,000 live stream views. Think about that. Over like a 4-month period, 120,000 live stream views. And so God is moving, and he's just taking it from really a local in our own backyard to national and world kind of influence. And so, Danny, thank you so much, man. I know a lot of people are going to be celebrating you in the comments right now. And if you don't know Danny, get to know him. His wife is also on staff with us. She's our financial director. I like to say that our wives are our better half, even though we add a little bit to the kingdom of God, if you know what I mean. But another person that I want to introduce to you guys, if you don't know her, I mean, some of you have seen her leading worship, and she's really the 6th woman of the year. She's the Lou Williams of Light and Life. If you guys are basketball fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Olenka is our media director. She specifically focuses on like our graphics. You guys have seen, like, we throw up these graphics in the middle of service. She does all of that. And Oleg, you have just done an absolutely great job taking us from busted to bougie when it comes to graphics at Light and Life, just helping us get past Sean and Joel on Canva trying to make things. And so, Ole, if you could unmute yourself for a minute, we just want to talk a little bit of what has it been like for you? I mean, we kind of started, I think if you remember, we kind of started with Christmas last year, right? We were all together, and we were just kind of dreaming about what Christmas could look like, and creating graphics for that. And now it's really turned into this incredible theme where we've got covers on our Facebook and our YouTube, and you're creating sermon graphics, and it's driving people to be more connected with it. What's that experience been like for you, just kind of learning all of this and growing in all of this? First of all, how old are you, Ole?
I'm 21.
Okay, so Ole's 21, just killing it, absolute expert over here. Talk to us a little bit about what that's been like as you're learning and you're growing in this area.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Just being able to be creative and just take it and put it on graphics has been like the most amazing time. But also has been the most difficult because you have to really be really creative. Like, all right, like this is the theme. This is what you guys want to preach on. Like, what can I make upon that? And so it comes from like the font I use. Like if it's about the series we did for Solid, I did a bold font because that what represents that. And so there's a lot of things that I really put into that's been really amazing. And I'm just extremely blessed about it. Just being able to create things that I love and that, I mean, you guys kind of love. So yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that, right? Being able to create something that is going to draw people's attention in, right? And sometimes, it might not seem like a lot, but those graphics, they catch somebody's attention, they draw them in. She's helping us create covers on our videos, and so on YouTube. That's really important. I look at a lot of the bigger churches on YouTube, and they're 1 million followers, all these crazy things, been doing YouTube for a decade, and I'm like, Olenka's graphics are better than these churches. I mean, that's the kind of quality that we're getting from having Olenka on staff. And so you guys get to know her a little bit. I mean, she is absolutely one of the most creative people I've met. She's the one making you look beautiful. If you've ever had a picture on Facebook or Instagram, I'm not saying that you need filters, but I do. And maybe some of you out there do. And Olenka's making you look better in the process. So that's Olenka. She's doing media and graphics over here. And then Kimmy, I think a lot of you know Kimmy. Kimmy's our youth director, but Kimmy's kind of been pushed into a little bit of a dual role here. along with Brock, who wasn't able to get on the call right now, but Brock is doing some videography for us. And so Kimmy's kind of doing basically like our service directing. If you guys know, we bought some technology that allows us to live stream multiple cameras. You've seen the different camera angles. I don't know if anybody's caught it, but we had like a little drum shot. We had the keys shot in the last one. And so just some really cool technology. Kimmy, what's that experience been like? I mean, now we're doing in-house, online, all these different things, trying to navigate that. I see you in the quiet room that used to be for little babies, and you're in there directing on walkie-talkies and telling people this camera, that camera, do this, do that, do this, do that. What's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been difficult in a lot of ways too. Sometimes you guys will see, even for a second, we'll switch from one angle to the other, and we're just trying to figure out what the best shots are. It's been really fun because you get to be creative in that moment, and you get to look and see what would be the best shot for that moment. And as we do things like that, it's just really encouraging to be creative in that way. But it's also just crazy to think that whatever we put on the screen is what you guys are seeing. And so yeah, it's been a learning experience for sure, but it's been super awesome, and I'm very blessed to be able to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. And, Kimmy's been great just jumping in and trying to help us grow and develop that. And she's really got an eye for leadership. I'm not saying she's bossy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying she's got an eye for leadership and telling people what to do. And so she's been running point, directing, making things happen in the back. And that's just been an absolutely incredible experience. And Brock, who just logged on, Brock is our videographer. And so, Brock, we've just been talking a little bit about what it's been like, getting Light and Life online, getting these videos done, building a YouTube, building a Facebook. I know you and I, we went from your one camera to buying cameras, trying different things, lighting, what's working, what's not working. And so what's that experience been like? I mean, I feel like every week we're learning something new, right?
Man, to see, I mean, if you could go back and look at that first service we shot, comparing it to now, it's night and day. So, man, I've learned so much. Sean's learned a lot. Kimmy, like we've all just grown so much, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to even learn, let alone to be able to use God's gifts that He's given me to help other people experience church in a whole new way. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the reality that, suddenly people aren't allowed to go to church. We didn't want to close the building. And I know, Brock, one of the things we talked earlier about was like, everybody should have access to church, right? We talked about even some of the global missions. I know Alberto's on this call, and Alberto's been with me to the Philippines. And, I've been to Indonesia and these different places. And you go to these remote places and you go, everybody should have access to church. And that was our mindset going into it, was like, we want to bring church to every single person we possibly can. And I mean, like, that was from Easter. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Easter service, but we're like 4:00 in the morning, nothing's working. We're figuring it all out to all that God is doing now. And so just a huge thank you. If you guys are watching live in the comments right now, just throw up a celebrate, a thank you, a hand clap, you're awesome. Brock is somebody you need to meet. He's been behind the scenes, just really running this, making it happen. Awesome. And not only, what I'm excited about this is, not only did we start it with this team and we grow this ministry, but now we're discipling people into this ministry. And so I'm thinking of like Danny and Omari and Elisa and Adrian and different people that have jumped on these cameras, that have jumped on this team. Brian Laney, who's been a part of Light and Life forever, just making the lighting look amazing. And so it's not just young people, it's everybody jumping in to make this look amazing and beautiful, and really just give the best that we can so that you can enjoy church from the comfort of your home. And we're really praying that this is an opportunity for you guys to bring Light and Life anywhere you go, anytime you travel, no matter where you go in the world. Brock's got a world map behind him. Anywhere you guys are, we want you to be able to experience what God is doing at Light and Life. And so, Brock, thank you so much, man, for jumping in, being a part of this, teaching us, growing. And we've got some more tricks up our sleeve. We're not done. Keep looking for some cool things. We're looking for a way to work the drone into a service. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. There's some really cool stuff coming in the future. Be looking at some really cool angles, and we figured out a way to connect iPhones and different things like that. So we're really excited. Last but not least on the call, Alberto. Alberto, if you don't know Alberto, I don't know where you've been hiding. I don't know what rock you've been living under, but Alberto's our facilities director, and Alberto's been volunteering some extra time to jump in and just help us with some videography work, with some setup. One of the things that Alberto was key in doing was making our inside of our sanctuary video friendly from the very beginning. I mean, we went from, having hundreds of people in services at 9, 10:30, and 12 for both English and Spanish, to now having a bunch of empty chairs and trying to figure out angles and what was best. And so Alberto literally putting in countless hours, like plugging things in, making sure this works, putting extension cords here. And then we kind of added some craziness, because if you guys remember, for a couple of weeks, we were on site and online. And so we were really piloting what the future of the church looks like, because in the future, we're going to be doing both on site and online. And so Alberto, talk to us just a little bit about what that process was like in terms of, making that happen. I mean, you're using now your understanding of the facility to make sure that people are seeing it well. We even did a couple of weeks where we took the stage down and we did worship from the center and just switching it up. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like.
Yeah, it felt like we're all just on a new frontier, like this is something that we've never had at Light and Life. And it just felt really cool to have all of us go like, okay, here's a new harsh reality. Here is a way to do ministry that we've not done before. And there was just honestly all this really cool energy, between all of us, building it, inviting people. It felt like we were all building something new, whether it was like, hey, let's try things, like you said, down off the stage. Let's try these angles, these lights, these cameras. So it just felt honestly like really exciting to do something that Light and Life has never done before, and that now is going to be part of the future of how we do church.
Amen. I love it, man. And one thing I want to do before we end is maybe just every person share one highlight, one moment that really sticks out to you from as we've been doing online services. Maybe it was a sermon, a message, a funny moment that happened. For me, I think one of the best moments was on Father's Day, honoring Danny, as a spiritual father and a person that has just mentored so many young people. If you guys knew, I mean, I've been talking to like a dozen young people this week that are like, Danny's like my spiritual father, and just has been mentoring them in the faith. And turning the camera back on you, Danny, was so cool to like, hey, here's the guy behind the scenes making it sound good. And here he is. And you are just the most humble person in the whole world. And so that was a highlight for me, just getting to honor you and preach that day. And just tell you, man, dads come in all shapes and sizes, forms. And for those of you watching, man, you can really spiritually parent some of the young people as our church continues to grow. We're reaching young adults like we've never been before. Shout out to Alexander James and our young adult ministry. We continue to bring new people in every single week. And so, Danny, that was just an amazing moment for me. Maybe somebody else unmute yourself and just share a quick moment that was a blessing to you.
I'll go. I think one of the cool moments for me was being able to teach. So when I got on the soundboard, I right away thought I want to teach someone else. I really believe that you have to multiply yourself, and you have to make sure that others are learning. And so I was able to get Danny, who's been a great help for me, Danny Diaz, doing an amazing job. And then I also was able to kind of run some stuff with Alberto at the time, and then Ole. So just being able to, I have a heart for teaching. I've always loved teaching and giving what I've learned in my past and pass it on to anybody. I am not a hoarder of knowledge. I like to pass it along. So that's been a highlight for me, just being able to share what I know, not just on this live broadcast, but also post-production and music production as well. I just enjoy that. So that's my highlight.
So good, man. So good.
For me, I think one of the highlights was probably like running one of the cameras. I'm not usually like a camera person, but when like Brock asked me like, "Oh, you should like run one of the cameras," I was like, "Whoa, me?" I was really scared because I usually like just the social media worship, so I just never done that. But just being able to do that was like so much fun, and also being really scared because I didn't want to mess up, but it was also like the best experience. So that was a really great highlight for me.
Yeah, so true. That's awesome. Who else?
I can go. One of my highlights was when we first started off, we were actually filming it all ahead of time and then editing it post production. And so that was Danny and I were grinding late nights, just busting those things out. It was a lot of work behind it. And Sean came to me and said, "Yo, I found this live streaming service and I think it's going to change everything." And so uh, Sean, Kimmy, and I, we've really just been learning that thing top to bottom. And that has really revolutionized how we all work together, how we did church. Like, it's been a game changer. And so to go from those early stages of late night editing to now live editing on the spot, Kimmy just has an iPad. She's switching between cameras. Like, it's night and day. So it's been a cool growth process to see our team all along that way.
Definitely saved us a lot of time and sleep, right? Everybody's been getting a
Man.
lot more sleep, man. Who
Yeah.
else?
I can go. I know there was one moment that was totally amazing for me when we were doing live streaming while we were having in-person services. It was crazy because we were having different angles, right? And we had to work around the people that were in the room. But at the same time, some of you guys have seen that we had like shots of people's hands in the air. We had Pastor Larry dancing in the front, which was awesome. And my favorite part was I'm always watching the live stream at the same time. So I was seeing the comments that were going, and there were people saying, "It was so great to see Pastor Larry dancing. It's so great to see people again." Because for those who couldn't come and make the in-person services, it just made it feel more like home. And to know that we could be a part of something like that, making people still feel like they're at home with Light and Life, was just an amazing opportunity for us. And I took that away as like a moment that definitely was a game changer, that we're not just running videos or cameras or whatever, but we're having church with each other in every moment. So it was awesome.
Last but not least.
I could think of so many different things, but I think one of my favorite memories has to be when we were still doing live streaming, and then we were also able to do those 2 weeks of Sundays. My sister came both Sundays, and I remember her telling me like how amazing it was for her that she was seeing these people on Zoom and on Facebook, and now she got to meet them in person. And I just knew, to me, it's like we didn't have any of this beforehand. So if we didn't have this, I don't know how, where my sister would be at in her faith, because she tells me all the time, like, if it wasn't for the pastors at Light and Life and the things that they're putting out, all these different things, I wouldn't have felt such a strong connection to Light and Life. And so her coming and being like, "Oh, I seen you on Zoom. Oh, I met you online. Now I get to meet you in person and like have community with you." That was probably one of my best moments. Yeah.
That's so cool. So just a couple of highlights of what God has been doing. No church that he's not done. He's going to continue to work and move. And one thing you can do to support this team is you can just like and subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, we're continuing to grow. We have a goal to hit 6,000 by the end of the year on Facebook. I know we're going to double up and we're going to continue to grow, but we've seen over 1,000, really well over 1,000 people in the last couple of months. And so we're believing for that multiplying kind of growth. And then on YouTube, we really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Once we get to 1,000, it opens up some really cool stuff for us that Danny and Brock and others can be doing via video editing and really help us get the message out even farther. So if you're not subscribed, we're going to be putting this video up on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube. It's just youtube.com/LLCFLB, or in the search bar on YouTube, LLCFLB, Light and Life Christian Fellowship. You'll see us on there. Again, we're almost halfway there, and you can help us get there just by sharing it, telling friends about it, and bless this incredible team for the amazing time and energy and work that they put in. So we hope everybody has a good night. Thanks for tuning in with us. We will be live tomorrow night. I'm going to be preaching a message out of a new sermon series that we're calling Salt and Light. So we'd really encourage you to come join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're going to be talking a little bit about privilege and persecution and what is what in the church. So it's going to be a cool topic and a fun time where we're learning and growing a little bit. And you'll get to see some of those cool graphics that Ole makes. And now you're going to know some faces behind the transitions and different things that are going on. So bless you, Light and Life. Thanks for being on tonight. And we hope you have a great night. Bless you. Good night, everyone.